Greetings, humans, and welcome back to EchoJams, the podcast where we spotlight the hidden gems of the music world. In each episode, we deep dive into 4 unique bands and artists showcasing some music that might become your new obsession. Our mission? To uplift small musicians and expose you, our lovely listeners, to music that you probably haven't heard before. So, whether you're looking to expand your playlist or discover a new favorite track, you're in the right place. I'm Echo.
And I'm Jams.
Let's get into it.
Band 1, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. So, do you have anything that stuck out to you? Like anything specific about their sound or about the music that really stuck out to you? Or anything that you want to mention?
So the first song, I actually sat here and took notes.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I saw that. That's why I was like, I figured I would just let you kind of give me your opinions and thoughts and all that.
Okay, so first of all, the first song and the last song were my 2 favorites.
Okay.
The first song was very 90s, or I'm sorry, not 90s, 80s rock vibe. It gave very much Metallica,
Slayer, that sort of thing. Yes, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I thought that whole album, and their Infestarescence album are their 2 heaviest albums in my opinion in terms of sound. So
yeah,
they're very much those 2 albums are very similar in that way.
A lot. The majority of the songs that you chose for them is they're a little hard for my taste, but that's
understandable.
That is honestly just my opinion. I don't like heavier music.
Yeah, that's understandable. They're very much a you either love them or you hate them kind of band. If you're not into the psychedelic rock and metal scene, they're probably not for you.
See, I'm into psychedelic, I'm into rock. It's the metal that gets me.
Yeah, and that's understandable. I understand the metal thing. I'm surprised you like Supercell, the first song, then, because that was one of the heaviest songs I played for you.
Well, here's the thing. Because it was so reminiscent of that, again, 80s rock Metallica sound, I think it sounded very familiar to me, because I do enjoy
that's fair.
80s rock. You know, I most of the music that I listen to is older. So I think that's why I liked the first one. Mm-hmm. However, the next 3 songs that you played, one of them has some cool throat singing shit in the beginning. That was cool.
That was the 4th one, Nuclear Fusion. That one has a really interesting intro to it, I agree.
Yeah. But overall, honestly, I found them a little bit lackluster for me.
That's understandable. I get that. Honestly, I can understand that. Those are those are my personal favorites because I'm super into the style that they played in those songs. Very much psychedelic, micro, 2 of the 3 songs we're talking about right now, Automation and Nuclear Fusion, are what are called microtonal songs, or because they use microtonal guitars in them. So they have, instead of having the 12 note on Western scale we have here in the Western part of the world, it's I think 24 notes per octave instead of the 12. So it's doubled up, so you get all these in-between notes, and it can also sound very Middle Eastern because of that, because they use a lot of that.
I did notice that, but
yeah.
The way I would have worded it would have been racist, so I didn't want to say that.
No, I get that.
Because what I was literally thinking during one of the songs was, wow, it sounds very hinga-dinga-dinga-dinga, hinga-dinga-dinga-dinga.
Yeah, no, they very much are, because the reason it sounds like that is because they use what's called a, what do they call it? The half flats, or double half the flat 2, but in between the root and flat 2, the double flat 2. So it's
Got
like
you.
so it's that like really close like quarter note, well, not quarter. Yeah, it'd be a quarter note, not quarter note, but quarter step. Sorry, quarter step.
It sounded very sitar rather than
Yes,
guitar.
because of that. That is because of that really close note relation between the root note and the next note up. Because they're what's called a quarter step. Because you have like the half step, whole step thing. You know this, but
Yeah.
quarter step is basically half of a half step. So you have they're really close in terms of like pitch range. Those two notes, and that's what gives it that sort of vibe. I like it. I personally like that. Like that, the album Nuclear Fusion is on is called Flying Microtone Banana. It all sounds like that and all uses that same 24 note system, and I love it.
Okay,
but it's
yeah,
like, that's my creature. That's like my my comfort album from them. Is like, yeah, if I want to listen to some weird off the wall stuff, that's what I listen to.
Got you. Yeah, I'll be honest. A lot of the harder stuff. So the reason why I don't like harder music is honestly, I think it like bad touches my autism, because like a lot of harder music like that, instead of like actual music, honestly, it kind of just tends to sound like if you put like a bunch of fucking instruments in front of a 3-year-old and told them to go wild. That's kind of what it ends up sounding like if the music is too heavy for me.
Okay, and I get that. I get
that. And like I feel like it wasn't very well balanced, like throughout all of the songs that you sent.
Yeah.
We just listened to. I felt like it was very unbalanced. Like I felt like the lyrics and the vocalist were competing with the instrumentation. I feel like they could have been mixed. I feel like production could have been better. Like it could have been mixed better.
So that has been a common complaint from what I understand from the community about some of their older stuff, which pretty much everything I played from you is from like multiple years ago. They're still putting out music to this day. They just put a new album this year called Phantom Island. It's amazing, by the way. I didn't play any of their songs for you, but it's a good album, by the way. It's a lot softer than this stuff was. Like it's very much like a more like relaxed, like the last song was. Like that last song we played was more kind of the vibe of Phantom Island, in my opinion.
Got you. That last song, like it was still, honestly, I would still just give it a 10, like a 5 out of 10, because it was still, it was still like music that I've listened to before, you know? It wasn't, I get that. Like those 3 songs in the middle were very unique. They just weren't my taste.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's understandable.
The first one was definitely very, very influenced by like 80s rock, and the last one was it is definitely more my jam. That was my like definitely my favorite, but it again was very something that I've heard before. Okay,
here's my question though. On the last song specifically, how did you feel about the vocal performance? Okay, because
I thought it was better. I thought it was the best vocal performance, again, just because the vocalist wasn't going as heavy metal with it, and I think that's why I liked the vocals the most there, but it was still lackluster.
Okay, so the album that one is on, so that song is called Work This Time. It's on their Ottomans album. That is the best song on that entire album, and that is considered their worst album by like the majority of the community, myself included.
Gotcha.
That is like the only good song on that album, according to most Gizzard fans. Like most people like are super into this band, myself included. Don't like pretty much every other song on that album, but that song's like a banger in my opinion. Like in terms of like really soft, mellow, like King Gizzard songs, that's a banger.
Okay, like you were saying earlier, I think off recording, you were saying earlier about how like he does a lot of different genres and he like kind of skips around with genres and plays with sound a lot.
Yes.
You mentioned that he has some folkier sounding music, and I think I would really like to hear some of this folkier sounding stuff, but I can listen to that.
Yeah, on your own time, yes, I understand. I'm trying to think of the ones that I would recommend for you in that case. They did I think Changes is a new one.
You should definitely send me over some of their
I will
stuff.
for you, but I'm saying this for the podcast people. If you want to listen to the really softer stuff, like Butterfly 3000 is a really good album for that. Sketches of Brunswick East is kind of jazzy, from what I remember. Paper Mache Dream Balloon is really good for that. Butterfly 3001 is also another one, but I think it's their live album of Butterfly 3000. Can't remember. There's a couple other different albums they've done over the years that are like, okay, these are like more mellow stuff. And I really liked and respected that because that thing I like about Stu McKenzie is their like kind of lead guy in that band. And the reason I respect him so much as a musician is because, like, for example, for Paper Mache, I think it was Paper Mache Dream Balloon specifically, he learned to play flute for that album. That was like he learned an entire instrument just to play that one album, and then barely ever touched it again. I think he maybe touched it on Murder of the Universe or something like that, which is my favorite album of theirs, But they have, despite hopping around genres, they very much have a unique sound, in my personal opinion. There is a very unique technique they use, and there's a couple different techniques across the different instrumentalists that like different instruments people that they use in the songs that like kind of give them like the way they play those instruments gives them their sound, in my opinion. So
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here, but like for example, with the guitar player Stu McKenzie and the other guitar players, I think there's 3 of them total. They do what is called like with the vocal lines, they unison the guitar notes on top of the vocal line in the same note. So it's like it kind of creates like almost like a layer of like individual notes playing on a guitar with the vocal line playing that exact same note while singing that exact same note. It's very much like a very unique thing that they do. Like, it's been done by other artists, don't get me wrong, but it's a very much like a King Gizzard sound. Along with a lot of the drum fills are very, like, King Gizzard-esque. Like, in Work This Time, Lord of Lighting, Automation, Supercell, all those songs that we just listened to. The drummer plays a very specific drum fill a lot of the time throughout all 5 of those songs and the rest of their discography. Because it is just a King Gizzard thing. Like, that specific drum fill is kind of their thing. Like, that guy's thing. Like, it's just... He has a couple different variations of it, but most of the time it's, you know, like drum fills, like really quick snare to toms and to 4 toms, like drum fill, like going around the kit kind of thing that he does in 16th or 32nd notes, whatever it is. Like, sorry, nerding out a little bit, but
it's literally the point of this podcast.
No, I know. But like, they have a very unique sound that I personally am a big fan of. Like I said when we started doing this, like they are a love it or hate it band, and I'm not saying you hate them. I'm just saying that, like, it's either you like their music or you don't. Especially with some of their more like unique stuff they do, like with the middle 3 songs I showed you. Like those songs are very unique in that, and it's either you like it or you don't, kind of thing. I'm a big fan. Not everybody is. I get that. That's understandable. But like, honestly, they're like within their type of music and all that. Let me pull up their account or their Facebook or their YouTube music thing real fast here. But they're like one of the bigger psych rock artists out there. Like on YouTube Music, they get about 750,000 monthly listeners every month. So like 750,000 people listening to them every month is a lot of people, you know. And some of their biggest songs have like almost 4 million views. One has over 6 million views or plays, I should say. Like they're not a small band, but they're not like top of the line household name kind of people.
Yeah, they're no Taylor Swift.
They're not Taylor Swift, they're not Eminem, they're not that, but they are, like, within their genre, within their style, they are the top of the line. In terms of, top of the charts, I should say, in terms of, like, very unique psychedelic rock, like, weird, off-the-wall stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I can definitely tell that the guitar specifically really stood out to me.
Yeah, so that's
in all of those different songs, so, like, their guitar specifically is obviously incredibly talented. I think for me, it's just a combination of they're a little too heavy for my personal taste.
That's understandable.
And I think if they could maybe reproduce the songs,
yeah, I got you.
I think I would probably have liked it better.
Would you, if you were to do the reproduction, like the remixing of the songs, my question for you is, would you make the vocalists louder or quieter?
Honestly, Okay, I think that there's two different types of people when it comes to listening to
Mhm.
music. You are either an instrumentals person or you are a lyrics person. I'm a lyrics person. So
Okay.
I would put the instrumentals more into the background so that you could actually hear what the vocalist is actually saying.
Yes, I understand that, and I completely agree with you. Like, there are certain artists that are like, okay, you listen for the words. Like me and my dad,
Yes.
you and my dad in that aspect are very similar in terms of like they like to know what the heck what the vocalist is saying, like what the words are, what the lyrics are to the song, without having to read it,
Yes.
right?
Yes, like I don't want to be one of those people who is mad at Green Day for not wanting to be at Trump rallies and
Yeah, I know.
like if you actually listen to anything that Green Day puts out, like especially American Idiots specifically, Green Day is definitely a very leftist band.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, and I understand where that comes from, and I get that. For me though, I like having both. Like so, certain bands like King Gizzard for me is an instrumental band. I like listening to the instrumentation and the cool stuff they do with music and stuff like that. Like the cool stuff like that. The vocal melodies are more important to me than the words he's saying in those vocal melodies. You know what I'm saying? With this band specifically, there are bands where I'm like, okay, I listen to this band specifically because I like the messages and the things this person has to say. Um, Stu McKenzie, don't get me wrong, great lyricist. Not what I listen to King Gizzard for though. So Stu
No, that
McKenzie's
makes
the main
sense.
vocal.
Like
Yeah, Sorry, go ahead.
I absolutely love Joe Satriani, but I listen to him for his guitar work and
Exactly.
for his tapping technique. I don't listen
Mhm.
to him for his vocals or for his lyrics. Because, like, have
Or
you
the
ever
drummer or whatever. Yeah.
listened to Mystical Potato Theory? Like, he
Yeah.
can't sing for
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the thing is like so. Stu McKenzie is a wonderful musician. Maybe not entirely in the vocal department, in the lyricism department, but definitely on his guitar, he is like a phenomenal musician, and just overall skill as a musician is phenomenal. Stu McKenzie is our headliner vocalist and guitar player. They also have two other guitar players. I think it's Cook Craig, Cook Craig and Joey Walker are their two other guitar players. So like I was mentioning earlier with the unison thing, like there's three guitar players in this band, and they all three play live together. And what they do is they do a lot of live layering of instruments. There's like I think a total of like 7 or 8 people in this band. There were at one point 2 drummers. At one point,
Wow.
they had 2 drummers that would play live at the same time. I don't know if I think I brought that up briefly in the introduction to the band, but yeah, they are a wonderful band. They are wonderful to see live. From what I understand, I've never seen them live myself. Would love to, but they are a phenomenal band live because their stage presence is great. And when they did have 2 drummers, it was like the best time to see them live, apparently.
A
But
lot
I
of
don't know.
quirky bands like this, and
Yeah.
I think quirky best describes King Gizzard.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
A lot of
Off the wall
quirky bands
person.
like this do end up being one of the best, some of the best bands that you can see live.
Yeah, I agree, I agree. One of the bands that you're kind of making me think of is another one is one we're gonna go see personally ourselves soon. Jeff Rosenstock is very much like that. His music is very quirky and off the wall, but man, when he plays live, oh my god, it's so good. So,
I'm really excited for that concert. I haven't
oh,
been
we're gonna have a
to
blast. We're gonna have a
a
blast.
live show in probably close to a decade, honestly.
Yeah. But King Gizzard, for those listening, King Gizzard is definitely a band to check out if you're into those like off the wall, quirky, psychedelic kind of vibes. Um, I've mentioned the 5 songs of my personal favorites on that are on the podcast, but I would definitely recommend for people to listen to everything they have, like at least one song off of each of their 27 albums. I know it's a lot to listen to, like 27 songs. That's a lot. For them, that's just one song off each album, but like find like the top listened song on each album and listen to it, and you will find something you will like. I just personally put my personal favorites on there because I like that weird like microtonal stuff and like the weird unison guitar lines with the vocals, and like the whole Murder of the Universe album is amazing to me. Same thing with Not God Infinity. Those are my top 2 favorite albums of theirs personally. But like I said, they have a sound for pretty much anybody. You will find something you like within their discography more than likely, unless you're a complete like Taylor Swift fan and will listen to nothing else kind of person. Like unless you're that kind of person, you'll find something.
By the way, Swifties, please don't come for us. I
Yeah,
personally am terrified of you guys.
no, I have nothing against Taylor Swift. I'm just saying, like, if you listen to just Taylor Swift, please broaden your horizons. There's so much good music out there. Please don't limit yourself like that. Yes, you can listen to Taylor Swift and that's fine. But, like, don't listen to just one artist. That's so dumb. You know, broaden your horizons. Be wide in your listening and all that.
Also, I've met a few Swifties out there who honestly make Taylor Swift their entire personality.
Yeah, that's...
And I just want to say that your favorite music artist is probably the least interesting thing about you. Please become a more well-rounded human being, please.
Yeah. Broaden your horizons, listen to different stuff, and experience different things. Do you have anything else you want to say, my love?
No, I don't want to piss off the Swifties.
That's fair. We love you, Taylor Swift. We love you, Swifties. You're all Gucci.
So the first band that I brought was Mountjoy. What did you think?
Very, like, chill stoner vibes is how I would word it.
Yes. Okay, what are your notes? Give it to me.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my thing here. Why can I find my notes on song 2? Oh, it's beautiful. I must have lost them. Hold on, we got an issue here.
I know you took notes because I could see it.
I did take notes, but I'm missing some of them on 2. Hold on one second. I don't know why that's acting up. But anyways, yeah, definitely like stoner vibes, like just very chill, just like especially song number, I think it was number 4, or was it number 5?
Okay, so either let me see here, Younger Days or Death.
Yeah, it was Younger Days or Death. 1 and 2 was very like slow and like just slow. Oh, it was 5. Number 5 is okay. Yeah, it's not Younger Days. Younger Days was very much slow jams type stuff. Like it had a much more slower feel, like a much like just chiller vibe, compared to the other 4. I did still like it. Don't get me wrong; it's not a bad thing. I just think it's just a thing I noticed was it just felt very a lot slower. But like I said, it's not a bad thing. If anything, I thought it was a pretty good song. That's probably one of my. I probably put that at number 2, I would say, and put it in the middle at number 1 for me, ranking wise.
I love In the Middle. I think In the Middle is probably my favorite song by that band, right next to Younger Days.
Yeah, I think Younger Days, In the Middle, and maybe Lemon Tree would be up in my top 3, I would say. I think those are my top 3 first. I did like Lemon Tree a lot.
Honestly, I picked my favorite song off of each of their albums for you. Plus Astrovan, I felt like we should listen to. One, because you used to have an Astrovan. I thought you'd like that.
Oh no, I love that. I love that song. I'm just saying, but in terms of music, though, like I like the concept of the song Astrovan. But in terms of music style, like I appreciate why you put that song on the list, but like also like I do like the other songs a little bit better.
Yeah. Astrovan was their debut song. That was their very first single that they ever dropped. So I figured that I should include that. That especially since I'm pretty sure that is like their top ranked song.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying it's not my personal favorite. Like it's not even my top 3. I would say probably like number 4 or 5 out of the ones I've listened to so far. I put it closer to the bottom of the top 5 list. Of the 5 I listened to. But I don't know why it won't let me find my notes on song 2. But anyways, yeah, I mean, just like the vocalist has got a really good tone to his voice, and like when he hits those falsetto notes with a vibrato, just melts me inside. I don't know how else to word it. Like it was very like it felt like I was melting in my chair a little bit when I would hear him go. You know, like those high falsetto like vibrato notes. I'm like, this is so good. I can't sing, but you know what I'm saying. Yes. My falsetto voice is destroyed, but we don't talk about that. Song 3 did have a lot of reverb on it in a good way. Like it was very spacey sounding, and I like that.
Yes.
It was very spacey. Like it felt wide and huge, and I loved it. The specific part of that song, like the thinking of me in a dream part where you're like kind of cuts out and then pushes back in, that was really cool moment for me. Like I was like, ooh, I like that a lot. and also the drum fills in a lot of the songs, not just song 3, which is Lemon Tree, by the way. Not just in Lemon Tree, but in, like, all the songs. I noticed they have, like, the fills that the drummer uses are very reminiscent of, like, King Gizzard, Lizard Wizard that we were talking about earlier in the podcast. Something about that just, like, rubbed me the right way, and I'm like, yes, I respect it.
Yes.
But, like, the other song, all the other songs, Younger Days, Death, In the Middle, Lemon Tree, and Astronaut, all 5 songs are really, really good. I honestly, it's hard for me to pick between the 5 to find my favorites, because they're all, like, they're, like, so similar in terms of quality. Like, they're all, like, it's very much, like, I find, at least, with this band, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of, like, misses in terms of, like, compared to other songs, you know? At least from the ones you picked.
Yes. So for the audience, I do have to say, and for you, of course, I really, really do think that Mountjoy is definitely worth a listen. I think that they do have a lot of really good songs. Again, these 5 songs are my favorite songs off of each of their albums. And they're good. However, I will say that I do find a lot of their music to be very hit or miss. A lot of it is good, like this, but some of it is just lackluster to me. One of the reasons why I actually love this band is because of their politics and their activism, actually. They're just incredibly involved in their communities. They've worked with, let me see here, I have a whole list of things that they've done. They've worked with Phil Abundance, Music Cares, they've raised money for different things. They're part of a nonpartisan voter registration group. They're very much so against Donald Trump. They speak out against racial injustice. They're just, like, a really awesome band as far as how they choose to use their platform. And that was a big reason why I wanted to put them on the podcast, because all of that I think is really, really cool.
Band 3, Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties.
Okay, you are going to laugh your fucking ass off at my notes.
Oh no, what'd you say? What'd you write?
Okay, so...
I'm listening.
It started with Cool Brass Line.
Yes, Cool Brass Line on the first song, yes.
Because, well, actually, that was consistent through, like, the first, I think, at least 2 songs. There was Cool Brass Line stuff.
Yeah, there was, they have a lot of trumpet and, like, what you call it,
probably trombone.
Trombone, yeah.
High brass, high to mid brass stuff. Yeah. Just, like, for the audience who doesn't know me IRL, I'm a former band kid. I'm a classically trained musician, or at least I was. I haven't touched an instrument in, like, a decade at least at this point. I was a flautist and a bassoonist. I wasn't good at either of them. I took up vocals instead. Anyway, but because of that formal marching kid, marching band kid, place, just, like, I really liked the Cool Brass Line. I always love hearing classical instruments used in non-classical music.
Yeah, then, yeah. But...
Yeah. I also said that this was 100% more my speed.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it would be.
This music is incredibly nostalgic.
It's nostalgic in a sad way, is the way I would word it, though.
Well,
in a
for
kind of
me...
in a somber way, at least. A somber way. Is the way I think of it, at least.
As an elder emo, this was very much so exactly what I was listening to in, like, high school.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not my point. I'm talking about more, like, not really, like, the vibe, but more, like, based on the lyrics of the song, like, the stories he tells. It's very much a somber, sad thing he talks about. Because he talks about the woes and whatever of life, and, like, this character's story, because it's all based on a character, you know? The Aaron West is not a real person, he's a character, right?
Yeah.
And so he's telling the story of this character through these songs, and this character is a very, like, down on his luck, very not doing well kind of guy. Like, he he talks about in some of the songs. He has a hard relationship with his mother. His dad's gone. His sister and his other siblings hate him. And he's constantly on the move, going from town to town because he can't find a place to really settle down in. He hasn't found he's single. He doesn't have anybody to stay with half the time. He's couch surfing, all that stuff, and constantly looking for odd jobs just to be able to survive, kind of thing. And so that's kind of where I got the somber sort of vibe of it from. But yes, I do agree that it's very much a nostalgia of early emo, us elder emos and stuff like that. Yes.
Yeah. I did appreciate, again, as somebody who's kind of like a vocal nerd, a lot of emo genre music. It's very nasally and very whiny sound, which if you know anything about vocal technique, you know that it's just bad technique singing like that.
Yeah. It's a sound, though. It's a sound.
It fucks with your diction. It fucks with your enunciation. It can actually damage your vocal cords. It's just overall bad technique.
No, I agree.
Your voice is an instrument. There is a right and wrong way to play it.
I would agree. There is some room for experimentation, though. There is a room for experimentation. But yes, there are things that are objectively bad for your voice as an instrument. I agree.
Yes, you definitely don't want to hurt yourself.
Yes, that's why I always tell people, if you want to get into metal vocals, as a random example, metal vocalists, don't do inhale screams. You will destroy your throat.
Yeah.
And use proper vocal technique with metal specifically, because that stuff is tough. Doing that stuff takes real skill and real practice and, real concentration, because you have to be very careful about how you do it, or else you will destroy your vocal cords for life. Trust me, I know.
Yes. And, not everybody is as lucky as Miley Cyrus. She completely fucked her vocal cords, and, she still sounds good.
Yeah, she's got that rasp to her voice now that I like, actually.
Yeah, it's very, old school, very, 80s rock babe,
oh my god, have you heard her cover that Arctic Monkeys song?
Yes!
I love that version of that song so much.
She did a cover,
she
did, a Joan Jett cover. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, but the Arctic Monkeys version song she did, it was very much like a country-ish, old school country kind of that sort of thing. But it was an Arctic Monkeys song. It was amazing. I loved it. And her vocal line at the end where she's like, "Why'd you only call me when you're..." The way she sings that line is amazing in my opinion.
Yes.
Getting off track. Back to Aaron West.
Anyway, this is the part of my notes that I think you're going to find funny. I wrote down that they sound like a mashup of Never Shout Never, Say Anything, and Bare Naked Ladies, of all things.
I love how you put Bare Naked Ladies in there, because that is so accurate. I love it. Bare Naked Ladies is the most accurate combination. It's definitely part of that, yeah.
Yeah, and then, I was mulling it. I don't know if you were watching my face, but I was mulling it over in my brain because I'm like, oh, there's another band that they sound so much like. It's on the tip of my tongue. I saw that. I can think of it, and then 67 Red Chevy came on, and I'm like,
Cherry Red, yeah. 67 Cherry Red, yeah.
Yeah. And then I realized that the bands that I was trying to think of to compare them to was them.
Yeah, that's funny. No, it's funny because you're right. I definitely see the comparison, though. I definitely do see the comparison. I totally agree with it.
But I've also heard Bar Fight too. So
you've heard Buddy in a Bar Fight. Okay, that's a really good song. That's his #1 track in my opinion. In terms of quality of songs, for example, if you go see him live, if you see Dan playing this song live, oh my god, the whole fucking the whole entire concert will be screaming it along the words with him to the point where you can't hear anything else other than the vocals. People just chanting these words, and it's such a euphoric experience seeing him play live. I wish I could experience it in person, but the recordings give me enough of a vibe of oh my god, it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he is definitely one of those artists I wish I could see live.
I have definitely heard both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Bar Fight, I'm pretty sure. No. Cherry Red, I know for a fact I have heard just because, like, I hang out with you a lot.
Yeah, I played that song before, yeah.
Bar Fight, I'm not sure if I've heard it from hanging out with you or if I heard it on this radio station that I like called 88.9 The Alternation.
Yeah, he's a pretty popular artist within his genre, so he's probably been on there a couple times.
Yeah.
That might be your answer. So I don't think I played that song for you before. I don't think. I might be wrong, but I don't think we played that song together before.
Yeah. By the way, just for our listeners, we are not affiliated in any way with that radio station. They're just a local station that I like to listen to.
Yeah, local radio is always a good thing to listen to. Anyways, just I every once in a while I tune into the local radio stations for genres I like listening to. So it's always good. Support your local radio stations, all that fun stuff. Support the music industry, all that fun.
True story. The weather guy on there.
Yeah.
His name is Bob Long.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know.
He teaches at Streetsboro High School.
Really? I did not know. That's cool.
He might have retired by now, but my mom used to go to Streetsboro, and he was one of her teachers. So
interesting.
I know he's old as hell now, so because he was old when my mom had him, but so he might be retired, but he at least did teach for Streetsboro.
To kind of answer one of my questions for you already by basically just saying you've heard this band a couple of the songs before, obviously, like you've listened to 67 Cherry Red and all that. You said,
yes.
I want to get your opinion. I rated them a 7 out of 10. What would you rate them?
I'd give them an 8 out of 10 just because I was really, really hard into this whole genre for a really long time. And it literally, their music just transported me back to my first job when I was in a junior in high school, and I used to listen to emo shit like this in my car on my way to work with my purple hair and my Doc Martens and...
So, for you and for the listeners, the guy who does Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties, Dan Campbell, is also the frontman for another band that is a little more punk rockish, more actual emo, and less country emo kind of thing, called The Wonder Years. The Wonder Years is also another really, really good band you should all give a listen to.
I've heard of them.
Oh, see, it's the same guy. Same vocalist for Wonder Years is the vocalist for Aaron West, and writer for Aaron West. He does both bands.
Okay. That makes
which is why you're like, the other emo thing kind of clicked with you because of Wonder Years, probably. If you've heard Wonder Years, that's why.
Got you. Okay.
But Wonder Years is also another great band that everyone should listen to. By personally, if you like that punk rock, older emo, all that fun stuff, like Blink-182 era stuff, like that. If you like that kind of music, check out Wonder Years. Check out Aaron West. There's so many good bands in that genre, but those are phenomenal. Dan does amazing work. And Soupy Campbell, I think he hates the nickname Soupy now for some reason or another. He used to love it, and apparently I've heard he doesn't like being called that anymore. But Dan Campbell, amazing person, amazing musician. Listen to his stuff.
The second band I brought today is Carly Oso. What'd you think?
I honestly, I like it, don't get me wrong, but I think Monjoy was better of the two picked. But
really,
overall, in terms of the songs I listen to, obviously they're completely different types of music, so it's hard to judge, give an accurate comparison.
Your audio cut, my love.
Sorry. It's hard to give an accurate comparison because of the fact that there's such different forms of music. But overall, I like Carly Oso stuff. The majority songs you picked were just different vibes, but they were both really good, honestly. Definitely the bluesy, the Delta blues type stuff he does. In the first song, it felt kind of repetitive, honestly. And then the second half kicked in on Dirty Little Secret, and it kind of made it a little bit more interesting, but not much. That was probably my least favorite of the songs of the 5. Beautiful 2 had some really interesting drum parts and a really interesting guitar riff to it. That would probably be my number 3 best song. Song 3 Out of My Way, more Delta Blues style kind of vibes. It reminded me of that one bluesy song from Left 4 Dead 2 from from when you open the game up and all that. It kind of made me feel like that at first. The vocal harmony was nice with the vocal EQ specifically, and this one part of the song with the megaphone was really nice. Yeah, just stuff like that, like just. And then on the later songs, it sounded more kind of gave me like the last two songs, So They Say and Fault Lines reminded me a lot of Shaky Graves. I don't know why.
Okay.
But like that was mostly
I can definitely hear that.
mostly So They Say was that one. That was mostly So They Say was like very Shaky Graves feeling. Especially the second half of it. The second half was like, okay, that definitely sounds like some Shaky Graves shit. Like that sounds like something he would do in the second half of So
Definitely.
They Say. But I would say So They Say is probably my favorite of the five. Especially because of that switch up halfway through, and just the speed up, the double time thing he does at halfway through the song is really cool. I thought it was really neat. And I notice he does he'll say a vocal line, right, and he'll go like the So They Say thing, and he'll like pause the music after on each beat of that word. It's really cool. I noticed he did that in his fault lines also. It was pretty nice too, with the one by one line. But yeah.
Okay.
Fault lines would
Okay,
definitely be my second
so
best. So They Say would be my first personal opinion.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So for the audience, I know you already know this, but for
Mhm.
the audience, when I sit down and research bands for the podcast, I actually sit down and I will just dedicate an entire day to listening to their entire library. So honestly, Ramshackle, that entire album, he did it in 2024. That is my favorite album. There is not a bad song on that album. Two of the songs that we just listened to was from that album. But he doesn't have bad music. Like, I think his voice, like his vocals is just amazing. I love the raspy, I love the grit, I love the timeless feeling.
Yeah, he
Like, I
definitely has
feel
a voice
like
for blues. He definitely has that bluesy style voice that a lot of people sound like.
definitely. But like also I really enjoy the fact that like is it blues from like the 1950s or is it modern blues? With a voice like that you can't really tell. It kind of fits
Yeah.
in anywhere.
Yeah.
And his guitar work. Oh, the guitar work. And like something about Carlioso is you can almost bet on right around the halfway point at any given song that he does, there's gonna be some funky guitar solo, and just every single time it rocks.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I definitely felt like the switch ups and like the guitar switch ups halfway through the song were kind of a signature thing of his. It felt like.
Yes. Not to mention just like the way that he actually produces his music. So something about him specifically, he produces his own music.
Well,
Because
yeah.
even though he's like an amazing artist, in my opinion, he is very, very much so under the radar for reasons that I don't understand. But yeah, so he produces his own music, and I think he does a very good job at doing that. Just the way that he mixes it and everything, it's very well done.
Yeah, a lot of artists that start out like they have no choice; they have to record their own stuff just simply for the monetary sake of things.
Oh,
And
definitely.
and for some artists, it can make or break their career, and like how well they like their mixing abilities and their mastering production and all that stuff. Like those abilities of theirs, depending on how good or bad they are, they can just make or break their music career for them, and it kind of sucks. But
Yes.
that's just my perspective from a guy who's kind of in the music industry, anyways. Like being a musician myself, like it just sucks. That
Yes.
like and like I don't even
Um.
know if I need recording studios around like within like an hour drive. Like I have to at least an hour drive away from my house to find any decent recording studios that I'm aware of. So it's
Yeah.
like some people just don't have access to a good recording studio, which sucks. Even if they have the money for it.
Yeah. Him specifically though, he actually like one of the bigger things that he does, from my understanding, and one of the biggest ways that he makes money, because again, he is a smaller artist. He actually writes and arranges songs for other artists.
Yeah, that's a
So
pretty
he's
common thing
actually the
too.
brains behind some other music.
Yeah,
And
that's
of
pretty
course,
common.
if you're interested and you want him to write for you or, arrange for you, I did drop the, Sound Better link down in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's really cool. And the fact that he's really well at arranging stuff, so he actually does it for a living. I guess he's been doing that for more than a decade.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that. I respect that. And that's a wrap for today's episode of EchoJams. Huge thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the vibes. Be sure to show some love to the amazing artists we featured today. They're out there putting in the work and making waves. You can find all their info linked in the description below. Remember, we drop new episodes on the 1st and the 15th of every single month, so don't miss out. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. We're dreaming big, and your support brings us closer to our goal of getting monetized one day. Stay kind, make good choices, keep exploring the music world, and above all, keep jamming. Catch you next time.